Hey there everyone. Today we're going to learn how to write our first lines of code in HTML using both the header and the paragraph tag. I hope you'll join along. Hey there everyone. Glad you were able to join us again today for the second video in Loop Coding Center's Web Basics video series. Today we're going to be focusing on headers and paragraph elements and how we can incorporate them into our websites to build the most basic website ever. Now, just like last time, I'm going to suggest the use of CodePen to follow along with these lessons. It's the exact same platform that I'm going to be using. It's completely free, and we can work with all three of the main web languages using this platform. So go ahead and give it a shot, maybe even create an account. That way you could follow along with us. So before we jump directly into today's lesson, I want to review some quick vocab with you guys before we jump right in. So in the last lesson we touched on how HTML syntax works and what the rules are, along with some basic names on what things are called. Now, just to review real quickly, I'm going to type out some of those objects or things that we had defined in the previous video. Just to make it quick, here in these brackets I'm going to go ahead and place in exactly what we're going to be programming with today, and I'm going to create an element. Now, just to review real quickly, what we have inside these two brackets is not the element. The element itself is everything in this entire line. Kind of in the way that we start and end a sentence in Spanish with both exclamation points. Here we'll start with this, what's referred to as the opening tag, and then end with this closing tag. So hopefully that was enough of a refresher to catch you guys up with what we're going to be doing today. So now that we've reviewed what an element is, let's actually jump in and look at the first line of code we actually already wrote. Here, with this opening and closing tag, we've already written our first line, and we can very clearly see the result on the right. So let's go ahead and review exactly what we're looking at with that first line of code. In this case, we are looking at what's referred to as a paragraph element, which is why we have the letter P inside. So if you want to be able to read HTML, or actually do anything in tech, you're going to have to be ready to cram a lot of acronyms in your head. Now, don't worry if you don't get them right away. There's a lot to learn, and usually you only have to remember what is useful in your case. So, while we're learning web basics, let's go ahead and take some notes on what each of these elements is and what they do. So, with the letter P, we're going to remember that P is equal to paragraph. And just like a paragraph in a paper you would write, or a paragraph that you would read in an article, it's usually relatively small text. But what if I want to show something important? What if I want to communicate something to someone that they should read before they even read the paragraph? For that, we have what are called headers. Now, how are we going to program a header into our website? Let's go ahead and press enter right before our paragraph tag and add another opening tag, this time with the combination of the letter H and the number 6, and inside we'll go ahead and write our first names. Past this, we're going to close it again with H6, and now on our screen, we'll see our name a little smaller than the paragraph text, but it's actually bolded this time. We said we wanted this to be more important, let's go ahead and scale it up. So here I put H6 when really I should have put in H2. And like that, suddenly my name's larger. Why did the size change? All we did is change the number. So, with headers, what we actually see is that the more important something is, the lower of a number it should have. So if I really wanted to scream at the top of my lungs to someone to read something, I would enter in H1. If I wanted something to be less important, but still relatively important to something, I would put in H3, H4, or H5. So with those rules, let's go ahead and actually try and challenge ourselves. Let's create a decent looking website using only headers and paragraphs. So for this challenge, we're actually going back to what OG websites used to look like. Originally, when websites in the 90s first started to exist, they were just text. We didn't even have the header in some cases, and it was all just paragraph text. So, kinda in the way that a martial artist would practice a single punch, we're going to scale things back and practice using the most basic things in web development so that we can really call ourselves masters once we get into the deeper things. So, in this case, for this creative challenge, let's go ahead and give ourselves a prompt. For me, I'm going to make this web page about one of my favorite video games. For me, that game would be Zelda, Breath of the Wild to be exact. And in this case, I'll just go and put, instead of Zelda, let's go ahead and enter in the acronym for Breath of the Wild. Then I'll go ahead and follow this main header, the header that catches everyone's attention. Because I know my eyes automatically go to the biggest, boldest thing on the website. And then I'll follow it along with a quick explanation on why it's one of my favorite games. So go ahead and fill that out yourself, and alongside that, go ahead and start messing around with some headers and see how you can organize your page. So take a second to see how you can organize your page and get creative with how you organize everything out. See what it takes to actually effectively communicate something, and see how you can start moving people's eyes around just using some text on the left side of the screen. So while I work through this project, go ahead and watch along. See if there's any patterns you see on my version of the website that you want to bring over to your own. Go ahead and open your own CodePen and give everything a shot. Start playing around with things. It can be a lot of fun to just see how you can shift people's attention using different sizes of text for different things. So just to run you guys along with what I did with my website and some good practices to follow along, let's go ahead and run through this. So to begin with, I start my website with an H1, big and bold. I want the information to be about BOTW, or Breath of the Wild, and I make sure to address that in my first paragraph, which is followed again by another really important thing, which is the mission of the game. So in this case, I focused on the saving of Princess Zelda from Ganon, which is followed by the tools I use throughout the game, and then the enemies. Now, you actually see that I didn't just use the paragraph tag for the smaller things. I thought that some of the important things, like the Sheikah Slate, the Master Sword, or the Paraglider, deserved a bit more attention than just a description that could be long and winded. So, if you guys would like, we here at Loop would really appreciate if you sent us over your code and shared with our general community what you were able to do just using these basic building blocks. Just from today, hopefully you'll be able to take away 3 main points. We focused specifically on learning how to use paragraphs and header tags, 1 and 2. And then the third one, just reviewing what an element was, how it works, and how to structure out what we're looking at in terms of HTML. So hopefully you'll join us on later this week where we'll touch on how to make this website look a lot nicer using both inline styling and formatting. So hope we'll see you later on this week. Have a nice day.